What does it mean when the best team in the best conference just can't be beat? The Florida Gators, SEC champions and 1 seed.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. We are available daily and free, wherever the podcast and on YouTube. And the Florida Gators, let me just hold on. So let me get into shape, right? Let me get this set up. First off, got Johnny Walker Black here. Okay, that's what we're doing because that's what happens when we celebrate. So we get Johnny Walker Black here, but also the Florida Gators are SEC champions. First time that we've got a conference championship since I've taken over this show. And boy, goddamn, does it feel good. The Florida Gators beat the Tennessee Volunteers for the second time this season. Second time that the Florida Gators beat the Tennessee Volunteers, because guess what? The Florida Gators are the better team. The Florida Gators are the best team in college basketball. I don't care what your opinion is. I'm speaking facts. The Florida Gators are the best team in the best conference. This is a beautiful thing, right? Also, shout out whenIgetmymoney.com. Just going to say, fantastic shirts. Love it. And hey, it's a mindset, right? Florida Gators win the SEC championship 86-77. And I think that we can all safely say Florida Gators 1 seed. Without a doubt. Which, to be clear, that should have been locked in a long time ago, okay? Florida should have been thought of as a 1 seed for quite some time now, but now can definitely say it's available. You want the belt? Should we get the belt? Should we get the belt? Okay, all right. I'll tell you what. I'll be right back. 1 second. We're going to get the belt, okay? We're going to get the belt. Now, who was it? Was it Robert that asked for that? Was it Robert? There we are, Robert. How about this? Florida Gators 2-1 against the Tennessee Volunteers this year. Florida Gators have now beaten the Tennessee Volunteers in the state of Tennessee this year. Florida Gators, SEC champions. Florida Gators 1 seed. Let's get the belt, baby! The Florida Gators. You just can't beat them. You just can't beat them. There we go. 86-77. We had one hell of a game going on there. And oh my goodness, was it a long game, because the officiating was just absolutely brutal. Oh, it was brutal. There was a combined 46 foul calls in this game. A combined 60 free throws in this game. But something that cannot be stressed enough, because this is a Florida Gators team that has had their fair share of struggles from the free throw line this year, right? The Florida Gators in the SEC championship, a game in which they won by 9 points when the spread was 5.5, so they covered. A game in which they won by 9 points. The Florida Gators shot 25 for 28 from the free throw line. The Florida Gators shot 89.3% from the free throw line. The Florida Gators shot better from three than the Tennessee Volunteers. The Florida Gators shot better from two, maybe. I don't know. They made more twos than the Tennessee Volunteers. We're not going to do math right now. We're not going to do math. We're here for fun. The Florida Gators dominated the offensive glass against the Tennessee Volunteers. The Florida Gators won the turnover battle against the Tennessee Volunteers. And the Florida Gators are SEC champions. The Florida Gators are the best team in college basketball. There's 149 of you in here right now. If any of you are a Duke fan, congratulations. You are the second best team in college basketball behind the one, the only, the Florida Gators, led by Todd Golden, led by Player of the Year candidate Walter Clayton Jr., led by future NBA lottery pick Alex Condon, led by the best football player to ever play basketball, Elijah Martin, led by the guy that I would kill for, Will Richard, led by the best transfer portal addition that was completely overlooked this year in Ruben Chinyelu, led by the rightful sixth man of the year, Thomas Hawk, led by the man who has limitless range off the bench, Denzel Aberdeen. Yeah. Led by a very frustrating Euro baller, Urban Klobzar. Led by the man with limitless heart. You cannot measure it. You cannot beat it. You cannot top it. You cannot beat him. You cannot beat him on the glass. You cannot out-rebound him. Micah Hanlogton, the Florida Gators SEC champions and the best damn team in the country. You can't beat them. You can't. Tennessee, done twice. Alabama, done twice. Missouri, done. Everybody, done. The Florida Gators have been overlooked consistently as a number one seed and should have been locked in as a number one seed for quite some time, and now have successfully locked that in without a doubt. Joe Lunardi, bracketology, you can talk about how this game could have been for the number one seed. It shouldn't have been, but the Florida Gators said, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I'll take the doubt out of your head. I'll take it out of your hands too. Florida Gators beat the Tennessee Volunteers. Todd Golden has done it. Last year, after making the SEC championship and losing to Auburn, the Florida Gators have won the SEC championship for the first time under Todd Golden. The Florida Gators are headed to March Madness as a number one seed and have a very, very valid case to be the number one overall seed. They won't be. I don't think they will be. I think they'll give it to Duke, which I'm fine with. I'm not going to be mad about. But the Florida Gators have a very valid case to be the number one team in the country. The Florida Gators are the best team in the best conference. You cannot even debate it at this point, okay? Auburn, they beat in Auburn. Alabama, they beat in Alabama, in Tuscaloosa. And then they beat that ass again in the SEC semifinal. Missouri beat Florida the first time, and then when it actually mattered, the Gators killed them. Tennessee just ain't built like that. They're just not. They're not built to be great. They're just not. The Florida Gators are, and the Florida Gators are great. The Florida Gators are SEC champions. The Florida Gators are the best team, again, in the best conference, the best team in the SEC, and the best damn team in the country. Florida Gators, the elite of the elite. Chat, I see you. Chat, I love you. We will talk with you when we get back with this special conference championship episode of Locked On Gators. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. It is Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right, much like Todd Golden and the SEC champion Florida Gators have done. They get it right. Join the Trade Master program. Support the Portal Master in Todd Golden. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and the electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. And if you need furniture, I finally finished revamping my living room. It's about damn time. Your home should reflect your style, and with Wayfair, it's easier than ever to make that happen. If you made money betting on the Florida Gators to win the SEC, if you made money betting on the Florida Gators to cover 5.5, much like I did, then guess what? You can buy some new furniture, right? Wayfair's huge selection makes it easy to find the perfect piece, no matter your space or budget. Cozy furniture, stylish decor, kitchen essentials, whatever the hell you need. Head over to wayfair.com and find something that's just your style today. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home, every SEC championship. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to podcasts and on YouTube. And we are live with 190 people in here right now. Yesterday, we set our basketball live high at 110, and now we're at 190 because we're going to celebrate. We're going to have some fun. David Boyven said Auburn ranked higher than the Gators is a joke. I will just be honest with you. I don't give a damn who's ranked where at this point. I know who the best team in the SEC is. It's the Florida Gators. I know who the best team in college basketball is. It's the Florida Gators. Okay? And look, there's going to be very valid reasons to talk about how Florida should have won by more, right? Some bad stretches. They had some bad moments, but at the end of the day, we're going to do something really fun here, right? We're going to gather together. We're going to look at the Florida Gators, and we're going to say that is the best effing team on the planet. That is the best effing team in the country. That's the best team in the SEC. That's the best team by any metric, any measure you want to use. The Florida Gators are the best damn basketball team on the country, on the planet, in the country. I don't care. They're the best, okay? They've proven it week in, week out. They've done it consistently. They are the best team that you've seen. And I'll tell you what, I don't care who they get matched up with. It doesn't matter to me. The Florida Gators are national champion contenders, and at this point could potentially be considered national champion favorites. Gators, that's them, right? Been waiting for this day. Have a day, Brandon. Let the S talk continue. We will let it continue because I don't know about you, but my team is the best basketball team on the planet right now. They are. That's them. I see you in the chat. I love you. We're going to have some fun. We're going to look at how the Florida Gators just might be national champions this year, right? We'll get the bracket out later today. We'll find out who Florida's playing. We'll find out when Florida's playing. We'll find out what bracket they're playing. But one thing we know is that the Florida Gators are going to be favorites for a while because they are damn good. And don't forget, I see you. Jadarius Blackman just said, I can't really see a team stopping Florida from winning it all. I'm going to be honest with you, right? And this is something we've talked about quite a bit in recent weeks and recent months. There is one team in the SEC, one team in the country, one team on the planet that could stop the Florida Gators from winning the national championship in a few weeks, right? That one team is the Florida Gators. Okay? I'm telling you, there is not a better team on the planet. Houston, Duke, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, I don't care who it is. Memphis, George Mason, I don't give a damn who it is. There isn't a better team than the Florida Gators. They have been built for this. They have been built for greatness. They have been built for SEC championships. They've been built for national championships. Stop saying Houston. Because guess what? Houston can't score with the Florida Gators. Simple as that. I don't care who it is. Houston can't score with the Florida Gators. Doesn't matter. The Florida Gators, the best team in the country. Bar none. Okay? That's it. They're the best. Walter Clayton needs more recognition as a National Player of the Year candidate. Legitimate candidate, by the way. Okay? Houston can't beat Alabama or Auburn. Houston didn't beat Alabama or Auburn. That's a good point, Devon. I don't care who it is. The Florida Gators are the best team in the country, right? And yes, like I said, we can talk about things that they could have done better. We can talk about things they could have done worse. But you know what they did? They went out there and they beat the Tennessee Volunteers to win the SEC championship. Don't be a homer, Brandon. Houston's good. Houston is a fine team. They just don't have the firepower to match up with Florida. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. Houston does not have the offense for that. Okay? I want to make that clear. They're like Houston's a great team. I don't view them as a legitimate national championship team. They don't have the firepower for it. They're not built for that. Okay? The Florida Gators roster composition-wise, sure, Cooper Flagg might be the best player in the country. Roster composition-wise, there isn't a better team than Florida. I don't care. Florida, this is an SEC. I need people to get this through their head, right? Because this is an SEC team or an SEC conference right now that is going to have 13, potentially 14 teams. Potentially 14 teams in the conference, okay, that are going to make the tournament. That's what we're talking about. Potentially 14 teams make the conference. And the Florida Gators just went 14-4 and then won that conference. That's what we're talking about. That's how good this team is. People have spent this entire year talking about how good the SEC is. I'm not about to downplay it in any way, shape, or form. The SEC is elite. Again, they're going to have potentially 14 teams in March Madness. And the Florida Gators just won the conference. They are the best team on the planet right now. They're getting hot at the right time. And the Florida Gators are genuine, legitimate national championship contenders. And we will put that respect on them. I get it. I get the whole let's not let our heads get too big. I understand all of that. Okay? I do. And we're having fun. We're celebrating. Like I said, we got the black label out. Like we're celebrating an SEC championship here. Don't get that twisted. Okay? We're celebrating that. Florida Gators may have some areas they can improve upon. There isn't a better team than them. Okay? Florida Gators need to be humbled by a team and the March Madness tournament. This sounds so freaking cocky. Andrew the GOAT, welcome to the Locked On Gators podcast, which covers the best team in the state of Florida, the best team in the SEC, the best team in the country, the best team on the planet, the Florida Gators, right? Simple as that. Gators are locked in. Need to tighten up some things. Shot selection got a little crazy out there at certain points. Defense broke down at certain points. But if you want to know who the best team in the country is, it's the team that just won the best conference in the country. That's it. That's who you got. Florida Gators best team in the country. Simple as that. Selection Sundays today. We're going to find out who they play in March Madness, who they play later this week. But don't get it twisted. Okay? I don't care who they play. The Florida Gators are the best team in the country. The Florida Gators should be considered national championship. I'll give you this. I'll give Vegas Duke because I think that they'll have Duke over them. But don't get it twisted. Florida Gators are an elite basketball team, the best of the best. They are built, and don't forget Alex Condon, Ruben Chinyelu, Will Richard, Walter Clayton Jr., Elijah Martin. Florida went 9 deep in the SEC championship and won, and barely 9 deep is at that because Urban Klobuchar played 5 minutes. So the Florida Gators went really 8 deep in the SEC championship and won and beat Tennessee for the second time this year. Okay? You left no doubt. Florida Gators beat Tennessee twice. Florida Gators beat Alabama twice. Florida Gators won the SEC. Auburn should be the 3rd or 4th number 1. They shouldn't even be that. They shouldn't. Like, I'm sorry, but come on. Just let's call it what it is, right? They've lost 3 of their last 4. Had a lot of games that were a lot closer than they should have been, right? And look, the Florida Gators, again, they'll have loss. They'll have some rough stretches, but the expectation here, national championship. This is it. This is what they've built. This is what they are built for. This is how they play. This is what their goal is. This is what the expectation is. This is the best team in the country. And if you, again, like I've said, if you want to say Duke, you say Duke. And that's the only team that I won't fight with someone about. The only team. But the Florida Gators left no doubt. Because that was one of the things, too, that we had people talk about in recent weeks was, well, tournaments are different. Tournaments are different. Rob, I've been trolling Tennessee channels. What did I miss? Oh, Florida Gators won the SEC championship. So there's that. But what we've heard in recent weeks was Florida tournament play, it's different. It's harder to win in tournaments. Teams play harder. Teams are going to play Florida more physical. So it's going to be harder for Florida to win. Do you know what Florida did in response to that? Do you want to know what Florida did in response to that when tournament play opened? Florida went out and beat number 21 ranked Missouri 95-81. Beat them by 14. Florida went out and beat number 5 ranked Alabama 104-82. Beat them by 22. What's up, Charles? How you doing, buddy? Florida went out and beat Tennessee's ass for the second time this year, 86-77, in what was basically a Tennessee Volunteers home game. Florida Gators, the elite of the elite, the best of the best. Charles, I got something for you. You said belt to ass. Let's get it. Well, I still got the belt. Oh, I screwed it up. No, I'm just like Tennessee. I suck. There we go. There we go. Belt to ass. I'm taking everything out here. The Florida Gators are the best team in the SEC. The Florida Gators are the best team in the country. The Florida Gators are bona fide 1 seeds. Should potentially be the number 1 overall seed. There isn't a team with better wins than the Florida Gators have. There isn't a team. What's up, Bam? Bam, Raw Diets and Pet Supplies. Let's go, buddy. How you doing? The Florida Gators are the best team. They've got the best resume. They've gone out there. They beat the absolute crap out of the number 1 ranked Tennessee Volunteers by 30. 30. 3-0. The biggest ass whooping that's ever been laid on a number 1 team in basketball since the 60s. The Florida Gators did it because they're just like that. The Florida Gators went on the road to beat Auburn by 9. Number 1 ranked Auburn by 9 on the road. Beat that ass in that one too. The Florida Gators went to Alabama to beat Alabama 99-94. And then the Florida Gators went into the SEC championship and they beat the Missouri Tigers by 14. One of the 4 teams that had beaten Florida this year. That's it. One of the 4 that had beaten Florida this year was Missouri. And Florida said, all right, you know what? That get back a mother, you know what? I'm going to beat him there. Florida said, you know what, Alabama? We'll give you a rematch on a neutral site. And then beat that ass again. Again, even worse, 104-82. And then Florida said, all right, Tennessee, here's the rubber match. Winner take all. SEC championship. Number 1 seed. And what did Florida do? They beat that ass again. This is the best team in the country. This is the best resume in the country. It got real murky for him, Bam. Shout out Murky Waters on Twitter, Murky Waters Pro. Go check him out. If you're in Florida and you got a dog, see Bam Raw Diets and Pet Supply, find him on Twitter as well. First Street Juice, I believe is the name. 1ST. Pretty sure that's what it is. Going off the top of my head here. I'm just loving it, right? Again, we got the black label out. We got the Florida Gators winning the SEC championship. We got the best team in the country in Gainesville, Florida. And goddamn, the Florida Gators are back on top. No doubt in my mind. No doubt about it. The Florida Gators, best team in the country. Florida Gators should be the number 1 overall seed. Whether they will or won't be, that's up to whoever the hell wants to put any bracket together. That's up to them. But here's the thing. The Florida Gators, either way, are going to go in to the March Madness tournament this week. And the Florida Gators are going to put belt to ass once again. We are talking about the best team in the country. Bar none. We're talking about the deepest team in the country. Bar none. We're talking about a team that should, and again, I mean should, I expect them to beat ass in March Madness tournament. We're going to go through one last time, just one more time, and then we're going to wrap up. We'll be back later today, by the way, when the brackets come out. We're going to talk about what Florida's side of the bracket looks like, but we're going to go back to this, okay? The Florida Gators, led by head coach Todd Golden. The Florida Gators, led by National Player of the Year candidate Walter Clayton Jr. The Florida Gators, led by the best football player to ever play basketball, Elijah Martin. The Florida Gators, led by, again, the man that I would die for, the man that I would kill for, Will Richard. The Florida Gators, led by future NBA lottery pick Alex Condon. The Florida Gators, led by the most jacked, overlooked transfer in the past couple of years, Ruben Chinyelu. The Florida Gators, led by the man that was robbed of Sixth Man of the Year, Thomas Huff. The Florida Gators, led by the man with an immeasurable level of heart. The Florida Gators, led by, I'm still on the same guy. The Florida Gators, led by the most selfless basketball player on the planet, Micah Handlogton, who could have taken the medical red shirt, spent most of the year redshirting, and then injuries came up, and he said, you know what? I got it. I'll go. I'll burn the red shirt. Let's go win a title. Micah Handlogton. That's him. The Florida Gators, by a very frustrating European, Urban Klavsar. The Florida Gators, by the best bench guard in the country, Denzel Aberdeen. Limitless range. And I will say this one more time. I'm going to circle back to the coach because I think he deserves this. The Florida Gators, led by the true Coach of the Year, Todd Golden, are SEC champions, and they're the best damn team in the country. I'm Brandon Olsen. This was Locked On Gators. We'll see you when the bracket comes out. But let me tell you now, the expectations, national championship or bust. The Florida Gators, SEC champions. I am Brandon Olsen. Find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find me here after the bracket comes out, and find me every single day on Locked On Gators. And thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll see you all next time. We haven't ended the stream yet. I hope you know that. Because there's something that we have to do before we do that. Up to pass the Florida Gators. There we go.